time this talk is over, 45 people will have been handed a death sentence either inside or in front of a vehicle. Every one of us in this room knows a family, a business, or an individual that has been negatively impacted by a road traffic accident. In 2014 in Manitoba, the number was 70. By 2015, the number was 78. By 2016, the number of road traffic fatalities had risen to a staggering 107. Pictures like these have now become an all too common occurrence, and the increasing number of accidents by distracted drivers is simply unconscionable. I work for a family resource center in Southeast Manitoba. I have the pleasure of looking after expectant families and their young children ages 0 to 6. Children are a huge part of my working world. One of the special things we do is prepare them for kindergarten and help them transition from home to school safely. So why is road safety important to me? Well, according to the World Health Organization, every 24 seconds, a person is killed in a road traffic accident, and many of them are children, our children. 3 years ago, on a Wednesday evening, I received a phone call that literally stopped me in my tracks. A friend had called to let me know that his young 10-year-old daughter was biking home, Charity. She was run over by a truck driver who didn't see her. It was bad, really bad. A firefighter had to hold her skull together on the pavement to stop her brain from swelling while the STARS helicopter was on its way to pick her up. I rushed to the hospital as soon as I could, but when I got there, they wouldn't let me see her because her injuries were horrific. And I stood there, just helpless. These were the pictures her father shared with me. It took me back just a few short years earlier when I was driving my little 9-week-old daughter home from the hospital, Michaela. She'd just had an inoculation. All I remember is a vehicle clipping the back of mine, and before I knew it, I had spun out of control and I'd T-boned a semi-trailer. The airbags were deployed, my face and my jacket were burned from the gunpowder. I was in shock. Everyone came running when they realized a baby was in the car. I remembered an army officer trying to get the car seat out of the car. He asked me her name. He was flicking her face and calling her name, but she was motionless, and I was hysterical. They called for an ambulance and rushed us off to the ER. She wasn't moving still. I called my husband, couldn't reach him. I called my best friend, and then, of course, I called my pastor for the inevitable. We got to the hospital, and they took her away, and we waited, and we waited. I can't even begin to tell you the horrific feeling I felt, the sinking feeling. It was like being in the middle of your worst nightmare, hoping that somebody would wake you up. As the doctor approached, I braced myself for the news. And he said she just had an inoculation, she was harnessed in her car seat, but that she was in a deep sleep and she was okay. Oh. I collapsed just out of sheer relief. But here I was again. Charity's accident had brought me back to that horrific place. And by this time in Manitoba, we had lost a number of kids to the road, and I was just fed up of losing kids to the road. I knew firsthand what it was like to be hit by a distracted driver. And I knew we had to do something. I got to work the next day and talked to my staff team. We realized our kids at the center were at risk because they were young. See, when a 5-year-old and a truck collide, the 5-year-old doesn't usually win. We knew from experience that our kids learned best when they were playing, so we felt, let's build a road safety play park. And we were told, impossible. Yes, we wondered how a small, non-profit organization could wage war against this gargantuan problem with no resources and no money. But our dream to see our kids safe and to help our kids at the center see road safety in a brand new light helped us push past the impossible. As we researched how to do this, we found out that the largest killer of young children under 14 in Manitoba is not a disease or a virus, it's a vehicle in a road traffic accident. We also found out 90% of road traffic accidents are as a result of human error or condition. This means that road traffic accidents are entirely preventable if we change our driving behavior. So, we took a look at what we had to work with at the center. We had crayons and Lego. We had a muddy parking area in the back, lots of passion, and no money. So we began to share our story. We began to share the statistics in our community and explain how we could make a difference if we could educate our kids early. We engaged professionals whenever we could, and when we couldn't afford it, we drew our presentations with crayons, and oftentimes we built our presentation from Lego. And my 8-year-old son and I built that one. Well, the community heard, and they generously gave. And within 12 months, this was the result. This is an actual picture, an aerial picture of the park itself. This is another aerial view of the park to show you some different features. We have a shopping mall for the avid shoppers amongst them. And we even have cool cars to match their shopping tastes. There's Grandpa's farm with the animals and Grandpa's tractor in the back there. We also have some stop signs for kids to be wary of that we teach them about. The speed limit is not too high, as you can see. Railroad signs to keep our children aware of that on the road also. And of course, a train to remind them that that is dangerous too. A crosswalk to practice on, and of course, a fast food establishment, because we know that when kids see these things, they're so concerned about treats, they're not thinking. Na, 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 na. Fire engine that they absolutely love to play on. Yes, I know you're looking at the gas price. Come to us and fill up. Yeah, I know. And of course, a convenience store for them to buy their treats. And that, according to the young children at the center, that is Wowie, the road safety wabbit. He teaches road safety too. At our center, we were determined to make sure that we lose no more kids to the road in our community. So we built Canada's first road safety play park for kids under 6. Now, kids in Steinbeck can lead the way in creating a brand new road safety culture from the ground up. Early intervention, we've been told, on many levels is the key to success. So why can't we start road safety education for kids as young as 3 till the legal driving age? Is it a coincidence that we start driver's education at age 15 in Canada? Yet, the leading cause of unnatural death amongst young people ages 15 to 17 is also a road traffic accident. I have the graduating class of 2031 in my building right now. They're 5 years old. They're small, they're sassy, and they are smart. Lyricist Linda Creed said these words in a song made popular by Whitney Houston. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. She was right. I teach a road safety class to kids ages 3 to 5. And 2 weeks ago, I asked my kids, why would you wear a seatbelt in a car? And one of the 5-year-olds piped up and said, and by the way, these are her exact words. Miss Vicki, if you don't wear your seatbelt, you could get in an accident. And if you get in an accident, you have to go to the hospital. And if you go to the hospital because you're hurt, you could die. And I thought, a 5-year-old, she gets it. Well, what happened to us? Can you imagine what her driving life would be like if we continued her driver's education until she was the legal driving age? On a happier note, remember my friend's daughter, Charity, that was run over by a truck driver? Well, after many operations and much rehab, she's on her way to full recovery. That's her and her dad today. But not everyone is going to be that lucky. By midnight, 3,400 people will have lost their lives in a road traffic accident. That's more than 5 times the amount of people in this room. I tried to explain that to my children, and they're currently ages 10 and 11, and they couldn't quite understand the enormity of it. So I chose language they understand. Candy. I explained to my children, if one piece of candy was one person, this is how many people we would lose today. That's not just today. That's every single day. Globally, we send 1.8 billion kids to school and sporting events every day. And every day, 500 of them will not come home because of a road traffic accident. On April the 6th, 2018, as Canadians, we sent a team to a sporting event, and some of them did not come home. We lost 16 members of a Canadian Humboldt Broncos family in a road traffic accident. The strongest proponents with the most compelling arguments for road safety unfortunately couldn't make it today, and sadly, they never will, because they were killed in a road traffic accident. At our center, we teach when you get to a crosswalk, stand still, hold hands, walk safe, walk smart, buckle up when you're in a car, and slow down. Just adhering to these simple principles, if we all did it, would bring down the road traffic numbers by more than 50%. If we are not part of the solution, then by default, we're part of the problem. Maya Angelou said, "I come as one, and I stand as 10,000. Well, today, I come as one and stand for 1.3 million people who will lose their lives today if we do nothing." Early education and being great driving examples is the beginning of this change. Impossible? Oh no, that's what they said about the park. I join John Maxwell in saying, impossible is a big word thrown around by small men and women who find it easier to live in the world they've been given rather than explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is temporary, impossible is potential. And dare I say, in the face of courage, passion, and hope, impossible is nothing. So, what do we do now? We turn our pain into passion, our legacy of loss into a legacy of hope, our memories into a movement, and we educate our children early and literally change the world. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has, and that's us. If anyone can make this change, we can. So let's start now. Let's start today. Let's educate our children early. Let's drive safe. Let's buckle up. And please, please, slow down."